Board of Public Works for October 3rd, 2022, held at City Hall, Francis Huntley Cooper Council Chambers. I see that Dave Herbst and Kim Liddell is joining us by Zoom. Myself and Bill Balke are in the council chambers. Agenda item 2, public appearances for non-agenda items. No one is in chambers. Do we have anyone on Zoom, Scott? Okay. Item number 3, approval of minutes for September 19th, 2022. Can I get a motion?
I'll move approval of the September 19th, 2022 Board of Public Works minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Herbst, seconded by Kim Liddell. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Item number 4, report from the department. Bill Balke.
Good afternoon. Let me back that up a little bit. We're good? All right. Just wanted to give you a couple of updates with regard to our construction out on Syene Road. We also are feeling the impacts of the hurricane in Florida up here. The utilities have mobilized and are going down south to help with restore the infrastructure down there. So we have some relocation of poles and some gas and things like that that need to occur, and they said that our services are going to be impacted by that. So what we're doing is we're restaging the project to try to come up with a reasonable amount of construction that can be done by winter. We are contemplating a full closure of the intersection with a larger detour for the upcoming month to be able to get that done. But we will have the goal of having at least one lane of traffic in all directions and no detours during the winter. So there's going to be a little bit more construction that has to happen in the spring when we roll that out. But we're trying to get that open with no detours this winter. As well, with the development, we're feeling the impacts of that as well. Not so much from the utility standpoint, but from having contractors that the labor shortage, I guess you could say. We can't find, or some of the contractors can't find people to drive their trucks, concrete trucks and things like that. So it has been challenging trying to get some of the concrete done, especially when we're trying to schedule weekend work. They just don't have the ability to fill those trucks on the weekends. So we are scrambling to try to get things done and wrapped up by winter, but those are some of the things that we're encountering right now with that. Out at Highfield Reserve, they do have the curb and gutter poured on 1B and the sidewalk as well. We're grading out there, and they're looking to get the pavement down within the next couple of weeks over there. 1A is a little bit behind with them. Again, they had some issues with the concrete delivery this weekend, so they weren't able to finish up the sidewalk, but their plans to finish that up this winter as well, or before winter, I should say. And this Friday, I'm going to be attending the American Society of Civil Engineers conference up in Appleton this week. There we will be receiving our second award for the Fish Hatchery Road project for engineering design excellence, thanks to KL Engineering. And we have a little video to show you of that, if Scott can roll it.
North Fish Hatchery Road serves as the gateway to the city of Fitchburg, just south of Madison, Wisconsin. The project redesigned 1.5 miles of the 6-lane divided roadway segment south of the Beltline. This heavily traveled corridor includes commercial, residential, and recreational properties and is a major commuter route. The project started as a pavement replacement project. Early engagement showed a strong desire for corridor revitalization. In addition to addressing the pavement, people wanted a safer roadway for all modes of transportation, improved connectivity with surrounding neighborhoods, and a project that would support economic development. The City of Fitchburg hired KL Engineering in 2018 to lead the efforts of transforming the corridor, and in the fall of 2019, the project was awarded to Integrity Grading and Excavating for $20.5 million. By November of 2021, the project was accepted as substantially complete. In all, the project was designed and constructed within a 4-year window. The project included extensive stakeholder engagement from start to finish. Some unique outreach included the Pilot Neighborhood Navigators program, which began during the design. This was part of a separate initiative for resident leaders to conduct community outreach at the grassroots level. These navigators helped get project information out to a historically underserved population. To ensure community engagement extended beyond design and through construction, Fitchburg hired economic development partners to serve as a business liaison, interfacing with stakeholders along the corridor and the construction team. The project included safety improvements throughout the corridor. The Greenway Cross and Bryant Road intersection had a crash history not only at the intersection, but also along the roadway between that intersection and North Fish Hatchery Road. The area saw driver behavior of turning right at the frontage road and then executing a U-turn once they were beyond the raised median. While posted speeds are only 25 miles per hour on Greenway Cross, traffic drove in excess of that. Excessive speeds, combined with the curve of the roadway and the U-turn maneuvers, led to numerous crashes. In addition, redevelopment of the property on the south to include a drive-through coffee shop was planned. A mini roundabout was installed, providing traffic calming and more predictable movements. The design had a tricky task to balance moving 40,000 plus vehicles per day through the corridor while adding and improving facilities to encourage pedestrian, bicycle, and transit use. In addition, the team was tasked with keeping all improvements within the existing footprint of the corridor in order to minimize real estate impacts. This slide shows some of the improvements that were made. The Wisconsin DNR Service Center and Nevin Springs Fish Hatchery is adjacent to the project. The fish hatchery is supplied by natural springs that flow from the project area. There were concerns that these underground springs may be impacted during construction, so the project installed groundwater monitoring wells. The contractor was required to use alternative backfill material and enlarged concrete collars to help mitigate groundwater changing its current course. The DNR property also includes a managed 100-year-old oak savanna adjacent to the road. The roadway was shifted to preserve existing trees, which also eliminated the need to relocate a portion of a high-voltage power line. A soldier pile with timber lagging retaining wall was constructed with segments 22 feet tall to mitigate real estate impacts to several adjacent properties. This allowed businesses to remain open during construction while the permanent cast-in-place decorative concrete retaining wall was constructed. A modular block retaining wall was constructed for the remaining areas. The cast-in-place wall was designed to mimic the pattern of the other wall sections and provide continuity through the corridor. Fitchburg, a community of 29,000, required creative funding avenues to secure financing for the $28 million cost, which included real estate, engineering, construction, and materials procurement. They decided to utilize a tax incremental district to partially fund the project. By the time construction was completed, the private sector had invested approximately $70 million in new development and had covered that cost. Here are some interesting project facts as you watch the bike and pedestrian bridge construction. There were 115,000 engineering and construction work hours. This 1.5-mile project rebuilt 12 lane miles. 80,000 tons of existing concrete pavement was recycled. 44 miles of electrical wire was installed. The equivalent of 152,000 traffic control drums were used. 15,000 square feet of retaining walls were constructed. 32,000 square yards of concrete was placed. 8 miles of concrete curb and gutter installed. And 26,000 tons of asphalt was laid. Thank you to the project team and stakeholders for making this project a success. And thank you to ASCE for recognizing the North Fish Hatchery Road project with an Engineering Achievement Award.
So, yeah, on Friday, we'll be up there at the conference and receiving the award that we'll be bringing back here to Fitchburg.
Well, congratulations, Bill, to your department and to KL Engineering. It looks really good. Any questions for Bill?
Congratulations, Bill.
It was a team effort. It was truly a team effort.
Any other questions for Bill? Moving on, agenda item 5A, resolution R-188-22, acceptance of dog playground park improvement fencing bid outlot 11 of Crescent Crossing. Can I get a motion?
I'll move approval of resolution R-188-22.
Herbst
I'll second the motion.
got moved by Herbst and seconded by Liddell. Bill?
Yeah, a couple of Board of Public Works meetings ago, we had a developer agreement amendment to the Crescent Crossing subdivision agreement. And that agreement allowed for the developer to construct some amenities and dedicate land at the Crescent Crossing that was previously private as public outlet or public park land. So they were dedicating 2 lots. One would be a dog park and one would be a pocket park. The improvements in the agreement would offset the costs that they would pay in park improvement fees. So instead of the city taking that money and bidding out the project and doing it ourselves, the developers come forward to do those improvements themselves with city approval, of course, meeting our specifications, and bid and construct and pay for those. And in exchange, their park improvement fees and land dedication fees would be offset by that amount, up to a cap of $228,000 plus 10% for contingency. The bids that they solicited for was for the fence and the gates at the dog park and some concrete work. The work there is within reason of the estimate that we had. Their estimate was about $62,000 for the work, and the fence bid plus some concrete work came in at about $66,000, which was their low bid. They did advertise and do public bidding, so it met those city standards that we required, and we're recommending approval of the low bid to Preci for the construction of the dog fence and the concrete work.
Okay. Any questions for Bill? Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Where will the extra 4,000 come from? Will that be taken out? Will they, their cost increased, or, exactly how are we paying? How is that $4,000 being paid for?
Well, they're going to be capped at that dollar amount in the developer agreement. So they can, if they choose to, overspend here, we're still not going to pay out any extra for the final amount for the park improvements, but we're going to expect those improvements to be installed. So if they run over that contingency amount, then they're going to have to pick up the additional cost.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth adding the concrete at the gates because that'll really make them operate better. I think if you get into the muddy, the wet, all the crap season in the spring and in the fall, it'll help a lot. So I do think it's worth the $4,000.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 6, announcements. The next Board of Public Works meeting is Monday, October 17, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.